One of my worst gut flares was during Christmas about 10 years ago. And I'm going to share with you what I would have done differently now that I've completely healed my gut and I don't have any symptoms and I can eat whatever I want at Christmas. I can have gingerbread cookies and all those tasty stuff and not have symptoms. So 10 years ago, I was at the height of my holistic eating clean. Like literally for a whole year, I did not eat out once. I did not go out to eat with any friends. I ate all my meals were home cooked, prepared from home. Like everything was super clean. I was doing raw milk. I knew my farmers. I knew that the food I was getting was from really good farmers. I lived in the DC area, so I had access to like Polyface Farm and stuff like that. Like literally the best food in Virginia, in the United States, I was getting. I had been a good boy all year, and I got a lump of coal for Christmas. So I had enough time saved up finally because I was usually spending my sick leave and my vacation leave to, to do health stuff. But I went up for Christmas and I just could not contain myself. There was just so much tasty food everywhere. And I caved and I ate this food. And like literally within a day or two, I was sicker than I had ever been. I was so sick. Like literally the whole Christmas, I was stuck in bed. I was either vomiting or I had diarrhea or I had crippling gut pain. It was literally the worst flare I had in my life. And I blamed it all on the holiday food. But the funny thing is, growing up, I ate that holiday food and I never had a flare. And everybody else in the house was eating the exact same food and they ate like crap the whole year and none of them got sick for Christmas. I had invested the most time, money, energy, blood, sweat, and tears in doing this holistic lifestyle, and I was like on death's door that Christmas. I was so messed up that Christmas. And what I was doing, so years later, I discovered the work of Dr. Hammer, German New Medicine here. He had mapped out, he could look at your brain CT scan and know exactly what health condition you had. And he discovered that it was actually that our gut issues or any disease is caused by a traumatic event. And so during that Christmas, I was in a very stressful relationship. Lots of fighting, gonna break up, not gonna break up, living together, can't get her out of the house, like crazy. Like I have never been more stressed out than that. And I had never been that crazy about food. At that time, I was so crazy and strict about my diet. I would flick off McDonald's every time I drove past it. I was such a nutcase about food at that time. So it was actually that stressful situation that put my gut into overdrive, and then me eating all those foods and like literally my subconscious mind was freaking out like, oh my God, we have all these bad things into us. Like pull the eject buttons and pull the eject levers, get this crap out of us. Because that's how I perceived it. Even though it was tasty crap, once I learned that he had mapped out the brain, that Dr. Hammer had mapped out the brain, that changed the belief in my head that all these non-organic foods are bad. And by the way, organic food has just as many pests, maybe a little less pesticides, but they're just under a better branded name, so they don't sound as scary. Organic foods are not clean. You're still being bombarded with thousands of Wi-Fi signals. Like it's literally impossible to live this Puritan organic life. It's impossible. Even if you were, I even tried living on a farm. It's not possible to live this no toxins, no EMFs. it's literally no non-stick pans, no plastic. Oh my God, plastic, this mic, it's gonna kill me. Like literally, I tried, there was nothing more. I had dedicated every waking hour of my life, second of my life, to doing the holistic thing. And what did the most benefit to my health condition was to learn the basics of German New Medicine. Because this, like, our brain controls our body. And this flipped a switch in my brain to go, oh, I don't have to freak out every time I don't eat something 100% organic. I can eat normal food. I eat normal foods again. I try to eat healthy, yeah, but I know that there are people who literally eat McDonald's every day and they live to 100 and they're much healthier than us with gut issues. It's because it's mainly a traumatic event and it's PTSD triggers causing your gut issues. So, how would I have done things differently back then? I would not have been crazy about food. That would have literally cut my symptoms probably more in half. At least. It would have at least cut my symptoms in half if I wasn't being a psycho about food. Ask any of my family members, I was a complete psychopath about food. And then I would have, knowing that my gut issues were linked to relationship drama, subconsciously, that would have helped me manage the relationship better, or at least manage the stress around the relationship better. So, because I would know that, like, the more things got bad, the worse my gut. So, like, like when it's bad, there's negative consequences. Like, you just hold back a little bit. So, dealing with that situation, as fast as possible, in the kindest way possible, dealing with that situation would have done a lot for my symptoms. But there are a lot of people out there who say, I can't get better because my whole life is stress. I have a stressful job. I have a stressful relationship. There's just no way I could get better whatsoever. I have helped many people who have stressful jobs. They run stressful businesses and they don't have symptoms, even if the conflict happened at work or at their job. It is possible to get better if you're still in a stressful environment. And essentially what we have to do is, we're just a collection of memories. We're like a computer walking around with a collection of memories responding to our environment. So we have to change that traumatic memory. And the way that I did that a little bit here in this video. Maybe you were able to access that memory. Maybe you're able to access that memory around that video you watched that made you believe gluten is the devil, even though it's biblically approved. But what I do in my 13-day protocol is I have exercises that help you get to this traumatic memory and alter it so it no longer puts your gut in and out of overdrive. Now, in my bio link is a link to my free webinar, which is a mini version of this, where I attempt, with my words and with slides and evidence and science, where I try to show you, that this is actually caused by a traumatic event. And, accessing this memory and changing this memory is the best way to stop putting our gut in and out of overdrive. It's absolutely free. Go check it out.